Hey trackies, welcome back to another video. Please remember to smash that subscribe button. I see folks in the comments saying that they didn't realize that they weren't subscribed. Guys, this is not the main channel. Double check to see if you're subscribed and get yourself subscribed. Also trackies, remember to hit the like button. That's how the video gets to the YouTube algorithm and gets to many more eyes. As well, share the video if you care. I hope you care, so share. And yes, trackies, I'm looking forward to y'all's interaction in the comment section. That being said, Atraki shared with me a snippet from the Ready Set Go podcast. Now, that's the one with Justin Gatlin, so y'all can head over. I believe it's their most recent pod, right? So y'all can head over and watch the full take. But I'm just gonna be speaking specific to this snippet where they had on Coach Holloway, and there was a comparison, I suppose, between 2012 and 2024. And it's interesting because I swear to God, maybe it's because Americans won in 2024. That's why they keep harping on which race was the greatest race. But anyway, another, day, another question to another person: which race was the greatest race, 2012 or 2024? But interestingly, coming out of that conversation, Coach Holloway said something, and I believe track is outside of myself is the first person I've heard, from a commentator perspective, and I'm not talking about fans, because y'all know fans and the fandom, each person thinks their fave, can win. But outside of the fans, this is the first person I've heard, articulate that they believe that Oblique Seville was the scariest guy in the race. Take a listen.
So you fast forward to 2024. I told someone before the final I thought Noah was going to win. And they go, why? I said, because he's the only one that's been preparing for the final through the rounds. Noah was the only one to do what he had to do from 0 to 40 in both rounds to prepare himself to be the Olympic champion. And that's why I think he won. I think the scariest guy in the final is the kid from Jamaica that keeps quitting at the end, Oblique. I think he's scary because I don't think he has any clue how good he is, but I don't think he can't seem to focus in the big race. I think he's the scariest guy on the track.
So trackies, you heard Coach Holloway, and I have to say, trackies, I 100% agree with what he said here. And as I said, I did do a video. Now, I did go back on my channel to take a look to see the interaction from that video. And trackies, on the never did I watch. Okay, I could never believe me when me say Oblique could have taken it all. I'm gonna put the snippet on the screen so that y'all can see that I did do a video earlier on in the season, like I typically do. I break down what happened at the end of the year and my thought as it relates to each particular athlete. And for Oblique, my video wasn't the fact that okay, he didn't medal another year. My take on Oblique in that particular video was, oh my gosh, Oblique Seville literally could have won it all. And like Coach Holloway said, he was the scariest guy in that race. Trackies, I 100% agree. If you go back, right, and I know some of y'all are fearing going back and rewatching races, but if you're a lover of track and field, trackies, just go back and just watch the races and see for yourself, the execution from the athletes and the energy and the vibe that Oblique Seville came in with, and of course the execution, round one, the heat, and of course the semi-final. If he had kept that together for the finals, would have definitely walked away with the win. And yeah, I'm not sure if Oblique himself, doesn't realize how crazy good he actually is. But like Coach Holloway said, he is or was the scariest person in this race, seemingly not realizing to this moment how good he actually is. And trackies, I know there are different views as well when it comes to, why Oblique Seville, placed how he placed or finished how he finished in the men's 100-meter final. Of course, the story is he picked up an injury. However, my view is a little bit different from, majority of y'all's. And I suppose mine is in alignment with actually Coach Holloway. And I've said this, multiple times on my channel, and I'm not shied away from it. I don't think it has anything to do with an injury. You know what I mean? And in hindsight, thinking about it some more, and the fact that I kept saying, hey guys, I think we need to, probably think about a sports psychologist. At this particular point in time, listening to Coach Holloway again reiterate the fact that Oblique Seville seemingly doesn't realize how good he is. And I'm thinking about the fan pressure and also thinking about, Usain Bolt. And I'm thinking to myself, I remember Usain Bolt back in the day saying, yeah, there's a lot of pressure from the fans, the Jamaican supporters, they're crazy about track and field. But, he realized that his goals aligned with the fans' goals. The fans wanted him to win. He wanted to win for himself. So at the end of the day, it became, moot. It was no longer pressure because he actually wanted it for himself. And, once you are winning for yourself, then clearly the fans themselves, are going to be happy. And I think that's the approach, that Oblique Seville needs to take. Clearly, of course, there's a lot of pressure from the fans, but he needs to remember, what does Oblique Seville want? Does Oblique Seville want to win? And as long as Oblique Seville wants to win and Oblique Seville goes out there and win, it literally aligns with what the fans want, because the fans want Oblique Seville to actually win. So yes, Trackies, I pray that going off 2024, just like Coach Holloway was able to realize that, Oblique Seville was the scariest guy in that men's 100-meter field. I'm hoping that, someone in Oblique Seville's circle was able to realize that, yeah, he was indeed the scariest guy, in that field, and put something in place, Trackies, where he can get into that mindset and that main frame that I'm the best out there and I can actually do it. I want this for myself and I'm going to go out there and do it, Trackies. And I'm actually dying, for the day to see Oblique Seville really, come out and actually dominate that men's 100 meters. It's so funny, Chuckies, because when I think back to 2024 and, me going through my predictions and how the Jamaicans would compete, my thought process was, hey, guess what, Chuckies? I believe that Kishane will win. Oblique will be second, right? I can see a separation. At least heading into the Olympic Games, I could see a separation between a Kishane and an Oblique, right? And of course, by the time we got to the Olympic Games, things changed because Kishane also went in, not the best. But at the same time, without that information, just looking at it, dead pang, clearly Oblique Seville looked the better of the athletes, that we were supporting from a Jamaican perspective. But just overall, he looked the best athlete. And I remember Usain Bolt saying prior to the Olympic Games that Oblique Seville was going to walk away with the win. And I remember thinking to myself, is he now? But listen, when he turned up at the Olympic Games and he ran the first run, I was like, oh my gosh. I was actually scared for Kishan. I was like, listen, there's nobody stopping Oblique. The Oblique that I saw in the first round, the Oblique that I saw in the second round. Remember, he took down Noah Lyles, the eventual winner, track is easy peasy in both of those rounds. And yeah, it just never came together in the finals. Again, we have different views and different opinions. Some people lean on the fact that he picked up an injury. I'm not really leaning on that side, Chuckies, but I'm just hoping that in 2025, he's able to get it right and, of course, walk away with that long awaited medal for himself. And, of course, Jamaica, the fans will be here to celebrate and support him all the way. That being said, Trackies, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Me realize so I never watch my video when I'm telling us say, Oblique Seville could have won it all. But see Coach Holloway say it again. What do you have to say for yourselves? No. Like the video, of course, Trackies, and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.